On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1974. We're going to be taking a look at Stevie Wonder, and he's going to be performing Living for the City. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So let's get Stevie and the band up on screen and see how they get on.
It's just a block, but she is sure and pretty. Skirt is short, a lot of legs are sturdy. Walk to school, she's got to get up early. Her clothes are old, but never they're dirty. Baby, just enough for the city. Her brother's smart, he's got more sense than me. His patience long, but soon he won't have any. To find a job, it's like a haystack needle. It's where he lives, they don't use colored people. Just enough for the city.
I'm just going to jump in here. As always, the link to this video is going to be in the description below, so you guys can check it out there without me interrupting it. With this performance, there is so much going on that the analysis could drag on for years, because we've got not just a great performance all around here from every single member of the band, we've got the composition, the lyrical content of the composition as well. And it's something that I'm sure you guys have heard the song before, but if you haven't, get the lyrics up on screen when you are listening to this performance, and go and listen to the original as well, because it is such an important message lyrically that's going on with this song. Sometimes when it's performed so well, and there's such a groove in there that you can just grab hold of because it's so infectious, you just bob your head to it, you can't help but get into this. But then when you look into the lyrical content, it really takes you on a deeper journey than you might otherwise go on if you're just listening to it instrumentally and vocally and not taking in the words that are being said. This is the thing about top-level songwriters. They can write a great song melodically, instrumentally, but lyrically as well. And when you start listening out for that, it makes it so much more than just a song, because it is a message, and there's a lot more than music going on with this performance, especially in the times that we're living in at the moment. This is 1974, and very much saying what the whole world is saying at the moment. So do check out the lyrical content. Just with reference to that lyrical content, I've rewound the video because I want you guys to listen to Stevie's delivery of the word black. In the beginning of the second verse, we have the line, his sister's black, and just listen out for it.
His sister's black!
And there we have it. So that is the only word in the song and the only line of the song that has that shout in there. He's not singing a note, and you can hear instantly that Stevie's not singing that word. He's just shouting it out. He's not trying to hit a particular pitch. And that is the point. He's making a statement. This is why this performance of this song is standalone, because once you scratch beneath the surface of the great musicianship on show, we've got such a deep message in there, getting into the analysis of the instrumental work going on here. As we are looking at the backing singers, let's not underestimate the importance of the tambourines that start off the groove, because this whole song doesn't actually have any drums in there for quite a while. We have the first verse going on with Stevie starting to play, and the tambourines are providing the groove and the rhythmic element, the percussive element. So it means that by the time the drums come in, if that hasn't already been established, then it won't flow and it would sound really abrupt getting into the next part of the song where the drums do come in. So great work here, not only vocally by the backing singers, but also on the tambourines. When those drums do come in, we've got Ollie Brown here supplying that groove, maintaining it, but just adding to it as well. The feel throughout this whole performance is dead on, and it is such a tight performance. The drums and bass are in the pocket. It is so tight throughout. This could be a studio track because of the tightness on show. There is nothing missed here. And also look out for, just composition wise, we've got the break between the verse and then the chorus, and it's a little instrumental that changes to 3/4 timing. And you'll notice it when it comes in, because we also have Michael Sembello here, who's on the guitar. He's in shot at the moment, but also on the keys, the synth sound that comes in that is prominent in the mix. So you definitely don't want to hit a wrong note in this kind of mix. But it is all dead on. It's something that when you're listening to the original that is about 7 minutes in length, you get such a clear representation of almost the bookends or the chapters of the song and of the story. Because when we get into 3/4 timing, that is like the end of a chapter. For example, when we've got the first verse and Stevie singing about the parents who have had the child and then they have to work. They then move on to the older years of the child at school, and then further on, if you do listen to that original, it's then the son who's going to work in New York. He tries to work where he is, but he can't get a job because they don't employ colored people, as Stevie says lyrically. But then he moves to New York in order to try and get a job, and then instantly, as soon as getting off the bus, he gets arrested by the police and gets sent to jail. So that's the story. The last verse is cut out of this performance, but once you're listening to all 7 minutes, it might actually be a little bit more than that, you get such an appreciation of how this has been pieced together musically with such respect to the lyrical content to make a story out of it. Just to throw in there as well that the original release of this song is just Stevie. He's playing all of the instruments. So everything that you can see here live is just people doing what Stevie did himself in the studio, and it's on the Inner Visions album, and you'll see that that whole album is pretty much just Stevie by himself. So it gives you an idea of his artistry, the ability to play all of the instruments, record it all himself in the studio. It's the kind of talent that rarely comes along, and when people like Stevie Wonder do come along, they are standalone. It's something that I've said already in this video so many times, but it is true that you don't see this kind of thing every day. You might see an artist who gets up on stage and plays with a band and sings, or sings and plays an instrument, but then singing, playing an instrument, producing, playing drums, playing keys, playing everything that you need to get a full band sound is something that is a totally different skill set to just playing one instrument and singing. And you have to work at all of those other instruments to get them to a level where You can make a tight sound in the studio where you can produce as well, where you can mix. There is so much in there that obviously people that aren't involved with music and that have never been in production, for example, won't really have an understanding of how deep the knowledge has to be in order to do that. But Stevie Wonder was and is one of those guys that has such a wide skill set that he can literally do everything himself. So just to take you guys through the chords quickly, obviously in this performance the guitars are not very high in the mix, so we don't get to hear really what's going on, but if you want to play along, here are the basic chords. We're starting with the F sharp, jumping to a G sharp minor, to an A, back down to where we started. And you might also find that you can hear the tweak from the minor to the major being played on the keys. So it means that you get this sound. I'm hammering on with my second finger here to get that sound. So we've got this. Like that. Obviously, I'm exaggerating the hammer on a little bit so you can hear it, but you'll hear that little tweak going on the keys. So just to take you guys through the instrumental section where we descend, and we've got the lead melody over the top, and we change to 3/4. And these chords are going to be a little bit more complicated because I'm keeping the same voicings, or getting it as close as I can to what Stevie's playing on keys, and something that's going to complement that melody over the top. So our first chord shape that we've got is our E6 sus2, and this isn't going to turn into an instructional video of how to play the song. I'm just going to play through the chord shapes. So E6 sus2 to a D sharp diminished, into a D, into a C7, it sounds like, and then we've got this B flat sus2 sound, and I'm playing the E there with my second finger, into an A, into a G, then into a G flat. So like I said, we're in 3/4 timing here. So if we're putting that in, we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And there's that cheeky little bar at the end that Stevie throws in there that isn't 3/4. We just count to 2 beats and then we start up again at 1. But let's get back to the performance and we'll watch it until the end. And there we have it. What a great live version and all-round live performance. This is such a great performance on so many different levels, but musically as well, you probably don't appreciate this if you haven't played in a band or you don't play an instrument yourself, because when Stevie says about going back to the round, he shouts out, "Go back to the round." And that signifies to me that the band are literally just playing, following Stevie. Obviously, this is a shorter version when compared to the original, probably due to TV restrictions on time, but it means that Stevie is having to cut out the final verse from the song. And in order to achieve that, you can listen out for when he says go back to the round. And if you don't know what he means, the round or a round is referred to when you have a vocal section that is just repeated over and over and over and over again. So it means that when the singers start repeating those same lines, that could go on forever. But in this case, it is a set length of time, and then they will finish the song. But because Stevie says it, it means that they mustn't have rehearsed it. They're just going with the flow. And I've put the video back to just before Stevie does say it, because as soon as he says that over the microphone, it means that the band now are going to wait until the next bar, and as soon as the first beat of the bar starts, they're now starting the round, and they're going to get back to the vocals that then repeat and go round in a circle. So let's hit the play button and listen out. So there we had it. I tried to count it out so that you guys could see it. The 4 beats, once Stevie says that, the band in that short space of time are now all on the same page and getting into that section of the song. And this is the thing, that Stevie could have said anything. He could have said back to the verse, into the chorus, back to the round. There's so many different places that he could have taken the song, and the band are having to react. Obviously, you can sit back and relax and take it in for the art that it is, but the amount of rehearsal that hasn't been done for this performance that seems like it's been done because of how good the performance is, it's just top-level musicianship, all bouncing off each other live. When I say the amount of rehearsal that hasn't gone into this, they are massively rehearsed with the song, with their parts being tight as well, but they are at the level where the song could be different every time, because we're talking about a 7-minute song here, a little bit more than that, and playing it live, it might have to be cut short, literally at a drop of a hat, and they're waiting for Stevie to say which part they're going to play while they're playing. That's the thing, that they are adjusting. When you look at it from that perspective as well, that's why this performance is standalone and so impressive. Obviously, this is one of those videos that could go on all night because there is so much that you can talk about. I haven't even mentioned Stevie's voice, the vocal cord flexibility that he has to snap to notes when he sings, lines and tails off. At the end of lines, he's so accurate, but then also vibrato, expression, the rasp that he can put on his voice if he wants to. There is so much in there, but we'll have to cover that in another video at some point. But thank you guys so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!